In 2025, global tourism is shifting in strange and unexpected ways, and the United States is right at the heart of it. For years, it held its position as one of the globe's most visited destinations. But this year, familiar trends are unraveling. Long-standing allies are quietly stepping back. Even countries historically close to the US are making subtle but firm pivots. This isn't just about numbers fluctuating, it's about a deepening divide. In certain regions, travel is rebounding. In others, especially business travel, it's crumbling. And through it all, something more fundamental is breaking down: trust. Today, we're diving into the 7 countries whose relationship with the US is undergoing a dramatic shift. These aren't random data points. They reflect a broader change in how America is viewed globally, not just as a travel destination, but as a symbol of ideals, governance, and influence. Let's get into it, because this growing divide is far more serious than it appears. Number 7. Japan. Once a quiet but steady contributor to American tourism, Japan is beginning to step more cautiously. In April, tourist arrivals from Japan ticked up by about 5%, but the bigger story is in the fine print. In March, business travel to the US dropped by over 19%, and student exchanges saw a 14% dip. This isn't a loud retreat. It's a gradual, quiet recalibration. Japanese media have spotlighted growing concerns: increased detainments at US borders and troubling cases of racial profiling. NHK even reported that a senior engineer was held for 6 hours by customs, without a clear reason. That's had a chilling effect, particularly in tech and auto industries, where corporate travel is now being reconsidered. Japan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs recently issued a soft warning, advising travelers to stay alert and keep a low profile due to rising domestic unrest in the US. Meanwhile, Japan is shifting focus. Southeast Asia and Europe are becoming the new favorites. ANA and Japan Airlines are cutting back US routes, adding flights to places like Singapore and Paris instead. This isn't a breakup, it's a reassessment. Japan still values its ties to the US, but the openness and ease that once defined travel between the two nations is starting to fade. Number 6. Denmark. Travel relationship with the US is turning into a story of highs and lows. In April, Danish tourist arrivals rose nearly 10% compared to last year. But just 1 month before, travel had plunged by 34%. That includes a sharp 45% drop in tourism and a 29% fall in business travel. Student exchange numbers remain low, and Danish universities are starting to favor destinations like Canada and the Netherlands for partnerships. What triggered this? A political spark. When news emerged that the US had allegedly spied on Greenland's independence efforts, an issue deeply sensitive in Denmark, it sent shockwaves. The Danish foreign minister didn't hold back, publicly reprimanding the US ambassador. That mistrust is seeping into consumer behavior too. Sales of American brands like Coca-Cola and Levi's have dipped. Some influencers are encouraging America-free shopping challenges, and local travel blogs are pushing alternatives to US vacations. Danes aren't cutting ties completely, but the magic has faded. A trip to the US used to be a dream. Now it's a question of values and identity. Number 5. Germany. Travel connection with America is flickering, sometimes bright, sometimes dim. In April, arrivals climbed 15%, with tourism up 23%. But step back to March and the picture shifts. Travel had fallen by 28%, with leisure travel down more than 33%. So what's driving the hesitation? It's border treatment. A string of publicized incidents, like a 19-year-old detained in New York for 12 hours and a musician interrogated in Texas, sparked outrage. German media took notice and the government responded. The foreign ministry updated travel advisories to note that a visa doesn't guarantee entry. Business travel is bearing the brunt. It fell over 23% in April alone. Lufthansa is now redirecting capacity away from the US, focusing more on routes to South America and Scandinavia. And sentiment? It's souring fast. Nearly 78% of Germans now view the US negatively. For Germans, this isn't just a policy critique, it's about feeling disrespected and unsafe. The US remains a place of fascination, but it's starting to feel more like a gamble than a getaway. Number 4. Australia. The US hasn't lost Australia's interest, but it's definitely losing momentum. April saw a minimal 1% rise in travel from Australia, but that flatline hides the bigger story. Leisure travel is sliding. Flight Centre, Australia's largest agency, reports a 16% drop in bookings to the US, while demand for Japan, Thailand, and New Zealand is booming. Business travel isn't immune, down 7% in April. Behind the shift? A growing discomfort with the US travel experience. Australia's government has updated its travel advisory 3 times this year, citing everything from invasive border checks to safety concerns for LGBTQIA+ travelers. Social media is filled with accounts of travelers facing intense scrutiny, being asked to unlock phones, or having to delete data before entry. The US still holds appeal. Hollywood, tech hubs, iconic cities. But now it comes with disclaimers. For Australians, it's no longer just about the destination. It's about what it says about you to go there. Number 3. Sweden's bond with the US has traditionally been strong, but it's beginning to fray in 2025. Tourist arrivals shot up over 21% in April, bouncing back from a sharp 17% dip the previous month. But not all travel is recovering. Business visits fell 22%, and student travel has stalled. Swedes are becoming more ideologically distant from America. A YouGov poll shows that 63% now hold an unfavorable view of the US. That sentiment ties to concerns about climate action, civil rights, and growing political instability. Swedish media regularly critiques American policies, and public discourse is shifting. Companies are holding off on sending employees. Influencers are pushing for value-based destinations like Norway and Canada. This isn't a protest, it's a pause. Swedes still admire parts of American culture, but they're rethinking whether it aligns with who they are. Number 2. France's pivot away from the US is becoming undeniable. In March, travel dipped 8%. In April, it dropped another 12%. Business travel took a bigger hit, falling 13.6%. French media hasn't held back. From trade tensions to foreign policy stances, criticism of the US is out in the open. One major outlet even declared that 2025 is the year America lost Paris. French travelers are taking notice. Many now avoid wearing American flags or even pretend to be Canadian abroad. Tour operators say East Coast trips are fading in popularity, with destinations like Quebec, Spain, and Greece taking center stage. This shift feels personal. People may still love American culture, but they're losing faith in its leadership. For many French travelers, the sparkle of America has dimmed. Number 1. Canada, America's closest neighbor, is making the sharpest retreat. April brought dramatic numbers. Air travel from Canada to the US fell 20%, while land crossings dropped more than 35%. This isn't seasonal, it's structural. President Trump's new tariffs and controversial remarks about Canada becoming the 51st state sparked outrage. Online, calls to boycott US travel are everywhere. Threads titled "Sell Your Florida Condo" or "Vacation Elsewhere in 2025" are trending. Canadian tourists are shifting south. Mexico saw a 15.6% increase, and Airbnb bookings surged in Lisbon and Cancun. Air Canada is cutting back on US routes, adding capacity to Latin America. For decades, Canada sent millions across the border for shopping and sun. But now? Canadians are voting with their wallets. The message is clear. The US feels less like a trusted neighbor, and more like a divided stranger. That's a wrap on today's video. If you found this revealing or thought-provoking, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth global insights. Thanks for watching Perceptive Journeys. Until next time, stay informed, stay thoughtful, and as always, stay curious.